Mental presence.
All right, we are, it is, where the hell are we? It is Wednesday. It is, what time? It's noon. I am not with it at all today. You're listening to Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, or I may not be. I'm really not sure at this point. I've really been slacking off on booking guests in here, and, it's Valentine's Day, and everybody has an excuse. Joe Robinette was supposed to be in. He's got to do stuff with his wife, and I don't understand that at all. John Morris was going to be in, and he, I guess, has to do stuff by himself.
He's working.
Oh, okay, that's his excuse.
He has a legit excuse.
Okay, I thought he was just, dating him, dating himself.
Or he just can't walk anymore.
Because that's what I told Joe. I said, it's okay. John and Travis are coming in. They're sad and lonely and have nowhere to go. So, Travis Charles.
I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
What's Valentine's Day again?
Well, it's actually it's Ash Wednesday too. So we'll just say we celebrate that.
Okay.
Actually, while I'm married, so
Fat Tuesday leads into Ash Wednesday.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah.
Was it Fat Tuesday yesterday? I don't know.
Yeah, and what's tomorrow, like Skinny Thursday? I don't even know how it works.
I don't know. Well, I've never celebrated Skinny Thursday.
Yeah, neither have I.
Skinny anything, really. Travis Charles is my guest today. Everybody else had dates.
Yeah.
So how's it going, Travis?
Well, lonely. It's going pretty good, man. I don't know. Just kind of doing a lot of stuff, writing a lot. I don't know. Just kind of.
Well, that's good. I heard you had a pretty good set closing out Wiley Sunday Comics this past week.
I will pat myself on my own back sometimes. I thought I did pretty well.
Okay, good. That's good because somebody told me you didn't do well.
Who?
Like, I'm just kidding.
What's his name? Ed. No.
Yep. You and Ed. That's going to be.
Yeah.
I see some folks stepping outside the club.
He's going to lose. You know what I hate? I really do. Is no matter if it's a podcast, if we're talking in person or whatever, his stupid name comes up all the time. And it's like, I don't know why it happens. But
you guys just seem to have a rivalry,
and it's an unwarranted rivalry. It's like he apparently just thought I wasn't funny because he had only seen me do open mics, and when I go to an open mic, I don't put 100% in because
it's an open mic.
I'm trying new stuff,
yeah,
and I'm trying to reword something because I want to hear it out loud. Doing it in your house is different, but when there's even a slight bit of an audience, if you just get it out of your mouth, your brain works differently because people are listening, if that makes any sense. So sometimes I'm just up there getting the word and the pattern down. I don't care if you laugh. And that's all he saw for like months. Then he finally saw me at Sugar Melons, do what I'm good at. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna shut up now. You funny. You funny." Like I'm like, "What did you think?" Like, dude, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, I'm not whatever. So yeah, I like Ed.
Yeah. And then he added hashtag kneecaps.
Hashtag kneecaps. That stupid joke.
For those of you unaware, Ed John has a kneecaps joke that Travis just doesn't think's all that funny.
No, and I fixed it, and then he unfixed it, and then made the revised version of his stupid joke dumber. Like,
well, that's what that's what comic workshops are about. Is so that you can offer advice so that they'll ignore it and do their joke their way they want to anyway.
And he's the king of unsolicited advice as well. So he'll just start spouting off whatever he read in the book he had that week.
But enough about Ed.
Yeah. I wish he was here. That
would be more fun.
It would be more fun. It would be like yelling at a very, very, very low key Kanye West.
I don't know what that means.
He gets free. He gets free name droppings. It's good.
Yeah. Well, it's all kinds of droppings. He gets all kinds of droppings for free.
Yeah.
Anyway, for folks that have been listening to the show, I've been talking about trying to get back into World of Warcraft. Not to change subject, because that's something I've actually played that game since like 2005.
Okay.
like way back after that. I started like at the first expansion. And every now and then I get bored with it.
Okay.
So I've been trying to get back into it, and a lot of times when you get a game like that has so many different angles and facets that if you're bored with it, try playing it a different way.
Okay.
Try playing a different aspect of it. So I've been trying to get into the role-playing aspect of it. And I realized last night.
Like real life role playing?
No, not like
Okay.
not LARPing. Not that kind of
You're
stuff.
a WoW LARPer.
I'm not Mike Shea. But
Does he do that?
He's a pirate LARPer.
Does he do that?
2 weeks in the summer, he goes out to Pennsylvania. There's a pirate LARPing thing out. Well, it's an all-out LARPing, but he's a pirate.
Okay. Is he like Shmee? Is he like Shmee? Is he?
I haven't gotten that in depth with it. But
I can imagine him in this big ass pirate costume, just going, "Arr!" Like I don't even. That's so funny. We love you, Mike.
But yeah, I've been trying to get into the role-playing aspect of it, where basically you log on, you are your character, and you do everything in character. And I realized last night I can't do it. I cannot take it seriously.
So are you doing it like? So did you have to talk?
Yeah,
I never played the game.
You have a little. Well, it's an interesting game just because there's so many different aspects of it.
So you're playing live with other people, but you're talking in your character.
Yes.
Okay, that's goofy.
And the reason, that's the reason I can't do it. I logged on last night, and where my character happened to be when I logged out last time, where I logged on, there was a group of like 5 people, all sitting and talking. These are their characters. And it is some of the most boring crap. It's like, you know what? This is actually not that boring a game, but you guys just made it boring.
You can make it
Congratulations.
You should do it like the old school chat rooms when you pop in. Just go ASL just to see like age, sex, location, so you can know who you're dealing with.
But
they're like 45 mom's basement. Like
yeah, just out of curiosity, I started clicking on their profiles to look at and it's like a resume for role playing. 7 years experience as a serious, mature role player. It's like, oh, you've been doing this for 7 years. I'd have killed myself 5 years ago.
Okay, here's the thing. Because
I'm not knocking anybody that enjoys doing this. If that's your thing, that's fine. But I'm just saying I can't do it.
You have the mind of an adult who has responsibilities. Okay.
Which even with that, I can see wanting to escape from
But
it.
You also have theater and stand-up background, and you still find it dumb. So imagine these people who are really they're not accountants. Right. They're not like bankers. You know, they're single people who don't have a woman in their life.
Have to be.
And like, that's just their fun. Like I wouldn't do it. There's too much other things to do in like real life.
Right. Well, I thought about trying it just as a new way to come at the game. And after last night, I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to playing the game as the game is. What if you pick
the wrong voice and everybody's like, why do you sound like that? And you're like, I don't know. Like, I'm a troll.
Yeah, but isn't that what they sound like? I don't know. I've never met one.
Or you need to get the biggest, meanest character and just do the most feminine voice for it. Like, hey, guys, let's talk.
Yeah, but now the fun thing, I will say the funny thing about going into these, because they have different servers for role-playing. They have different servers for different things you can go into. And there's one particular town you go to on one particular server, and it is basically a big online orgy. Not a joke. I mean, the characters running around naked. There are characters dancing up on tables, and it's like, what is going on? I'm trying, and you have quests that you have to go in there and get, and you're walking past.
And are they talking while they're doing this?
Oh, yeah, they're having a ball.
That's okay. Now, I wish I could just like go to someone's house who had the game, be like, take me to this area. Like, I want to see that. Like, so you should
Here's something you can do. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
And look up Pixel Cat Gamer.
Pixel Cat Gamer.
He actually, what he does is he records video of him playing the game, and him and some of his friends get together and they troll these serious RP people.
Okay.
I mean, they'll just go up and start messing with them. And some of it's dumb, but some of it's downright hilarious. Some of it just cracks me up. I think because I play the game and I've seen these people on there, and I've been thinking to myself, somebody needs to go mess with them. And this guy does it and records it. So check out Pixel Cat Gamer on YouTube if you get a chance and you feel like seeing what some of these people are actually about, because they're.
I mean, that seems like fun. Like, it seems like that'd be the only reason I would play those games, was to do something like that. Because I'm not interested in playing the game, but if I could go like find people and just mess with them, that would probably be fun. And then record it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
Because like the last game I played was like in Nintendo 64's Mario Kart. Like,
so yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah, you know, like late 90s, 90s, 97, 98. So yeah, I've never been a big video game guy. I mean, I know what they are. I sell a ton of them, but
I've never been huge into them. But World of Warcraft is one that just like I said, there's so many different interesting aspects of it.
Yeah.
Other than the role play, other than that part that I don't get.
It's like people who used to speak Klingon back in the day have evolved into like WoW.
They really haven't evolved that much, actually, when you think.
Do they still do that anyways?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And honestly, I don't think they know what they're saying. They're just clicking and knocking, and people think they're talking.
Yeah. Well, a couple weeks ago when I was on the show, I was talking about this, and I was actually talking about back when I was in high school, I got invited to play, because I used to read a lot of fantasy sci-fi novels, that kind of literature back in the day, and I got invited to, my cousin invited me to do Dungeons and Dragons with some friends of his. So I got to play D&D for one night, and they were so mad at me. Not only did they ask me to never come back, they almost kicked my cousin out of the group for bringing me.
Is it because you made fun of them?
Because I could not take it seriously. I was laughing at them most of the time. There were some points I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard. Because you walk into a room and it's basically they're in a basement, of course, you know, this dark, dank little dungeon, and you got this guy in full robe and, you know, the dungeon master up there, and you got people in costume carrying fake weapons, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fun.
I feel like that's a mental issue.
It's one thing to perform on stage for entertainment value. It's another thing.
But when you're doing that, you're not performing for anyone.
Yeah, that's nobody but yourself.
No. That's just like, that's your, and even when you do the LARPing live, there's not an audience that like cheers your performance. It's like the couple other weird dudes that are staring at you play your part, you know? Like, that's so, and like cosplay is a little similar, but at least when you go to like Comic-Con, there's normal people walking around and go, hey, your costume looks sweet. You take a picture,
right.
You get validation for what you built.
Well, yeah, even if you go to a Renaissance festival, there are normal people walking around that are just visiting,
who appreciate what's happening.
That's interesting.
But when these guys go out and LARP in these woods,
because I did when I went to the Renaissance festival, I used to go in costume. I wore a kilt. I sat in a pub and drank and listened to the musicians. That's what.
But you know what? Like, at least you weren't playing the part of something,
right?
Though. You know,
right.
You were just having fun. It's like St. Patrick's Day,
it's
dressing
like
up,
getting in the
in
spirit
green.
of it.
But like, you know, these dudes go out in the woods where like you can't find them and like play games and like sword fight with wooden dowels and they're like, oh, like they play dead. What adult plays dead? Like even these Civil War reenactors.
There are some nights at work I wish I could play dead.
Just lay down.
Yeah,
and
it's like I'm done. But the problem is I work in a hospital, so they'd cart me off to the ER and They'd fix you. A huge bill. Yeah.
Well, like
if they just pretend to fix me, I'd pay with the pretend money and we'd be good. But no,
like the Civil War LARPer reenactor guys. They don't call it LARPing; they're just reenacting. But like, guess what?
It's called Civil War LARPing. That's hilarious.
And that's basically what they're doing. Like,
sorry, that just hit me.
Because all it is, they're the original LARPers.
You are absolutely correct.
And like everyone's like that would like no like you don't all they reenact is the Civil War. There's like a World War II reenactors. They don't go over to
that would be weird.
Yeah, and like start falling on the beach. You know, like
that would be
didn't
fantastic.
Make it again. Like
I think Civil War reenacting just started in the South where they were hoping they could win that time.
Yeah, like you're not like guess what? You're always going to lose. So like. Like, I don't know. It's like change sides, like play different ends of it. I don't know. That's whatever.
World War II reenactment. That's a bad idea right there. Oh, man. That's funny stuff. I had never really thought about it, but That should be a thing. We should start doing that. We should
World War II reenacting.
Yeah, we should start doing.
Well, we better get our hands on a bunch of planes because they're going down.
Yeah. Well, but there's no World War I reenacting. No. There's no Vietnam reenactment.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen.
In 200 years, we reenact the Iraq War. Like, we're just going to go to the desert and like fight people. Like, no, it's not going to happen. So why is the Civil War? Why is that the one? You know what? Because it was only us.
Right.
So we're fighting ourselves.
Yeah, everything else, it feels like, because nobody wants to be Jewish in a World War II reenactment. You just don't.
No.
You know. It would be.
Where's the one dude who's like, I'm Hitler?
Right, but there's going to have to be. If you're going to do a reenactment, when you do a Civil War LARPing, there's
Civil War. We should.
I'm not going to call it reenactment anymore.
It's LARPing.
When you do a Civil War LARPing, there's going to be a General Lee. There's going to be a defeated side.
But guess what? Are those what do you call it? Since they're getting all the statues taken down and all like the Civil War stuff taken out, like trying to like erase it, now are people going to be against the reenactments because they dress like them and they're doing the same motions as them?
That's a good question because
that's where stupidity.
Yeah,
people are like, this statue's offensive, but we're going to go out next week and redo it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the ones that want the statues down are the same ones doing the reenacting.
But their dad probably does, or their grandpa probably does it.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
They just can't talk them out of it yet. So what's been going on with you, Travis? I never thought that would take that turn right there.
I'm a stand-up LARPer. I love action role-play comedy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not even real. It's fake.
So it's not you. That's a reenactment of another comedian.
Yeah,
I've done that before.
Of this guy named Travis Charles.
Yeah. Was he funny?
Yeah, back in the early 2000s, he was. He was hilarious.
Awesome. So, what made you decide to quit comedy and start reenacting it?
I don't know. I got bored.
Bored with comedy, or just?
No. Well,
it's kind of like Warcraft. I got bored with the game, decided to try role playing. You got bored with comedy, decided to try to role play as a comic.
Yeah.
It's a different aspect of the same game. That's how it works.
Pretty much. That sounds like an Andy Kaufman thing. Like he would just come back and play himself. No, I'm just pretending to be me.
Yeah, as opposed to being the unknown comic with a bag over his head.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a speculation about him?
That was him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why some celebrities get that whole they're not dead, they're still around, like him, Elvis,
Jim Morrison.
Yeah, that's like, oh no, they're still alive. No, they're not. They're dead.
They're gone.
Tupac. People think they found Tupac in like what was it, the Bahamas or something, or somewhere like Jamaica, like living, and like the dude had the same tattoos Tupac had, and he was aged appropriately for what Tupac would have aged, and he's like outside like just drinking a beer. I'm like, that's not Tupac. That's some dude who looked like Tupac,
right?
Who's like, I'm going to do this to myself.
Right. I'm going to capitalize on this.
And yeah, I mean, there's lookalikes everywhere, but
right.
I hope someone does that to me. I hope I get famous enough that one day when I die, they think that I'm still alive. I don't know.
Do you want lookalikes?
I think I have some. Like I get questioned all the time of like people stare at me and or talk to me like they know me, and I'm like, I don't know you. And they're like, yeah, and they have these whole stories of what we've done together. And I'm like, no, wasn't me.
You sure you weren't just really drunk when it happened?
No, I've never been drunk or high or anything. So like anytime a story comes about to where they're like, we had some drinks, or like had a girl one time said,
never been?
No. Nope.
Wow.
I know, right? I look the part.
How did you get into comedy?
See, I've talked about this before with people. Like, most comics get into stand-up because either they're depressed, they're anxious, or like they had bad upbringings, or whatever. They have an underlying issue to make them want that acceptance, you know? And everyone's like, oh, most comics are all messed up. And I'm like, not really. Yeah. Like, when I grew up, my parents loved me. We had good birthdays, Christmases, every holiday.
That'll screw a fella up.
Yeah, it makes you a horrible human being. It makes you unsensitive, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, I mean, nothing bad happened. I went to high school, had friends. Like, everybody was my friend. I mean, I got picked on a little bit, but I didn't care. I've always been big. And like, I had the nickname, I don't know, I shouldn't even say this on the radio. I mean, it's not bad, but like, I got called Lumpy when I was a kid.
I can see that.
Yeah. It was like, yo, Lumpy. And I'm like, it would hurt my feelings, but I didn't care enough to like get upset about it. And I was like, and even as a child, I was like, it'll go away. They'll stop calling me Lumpy one day.
Never did they?
No, it did. Like, it's about from like 7 to like 10 in the neighborhood I grew up in. And it just went away one day. And then like, so of course I developed a sense of humor as a kid. I just always told jokes on the playground, all the jokes I heard my parents' friends say, which were not appropriate for kids. Right. But for some reason,
that's
children,
why they love them.
For some reason, children still laughed at the punchlines. Like there's jokes I can't do on this radio.
No idea.
No. And then I started getting the nickname joke. I'm the joke man at like 11 outside of the playground.
That's better than Lumpy.
Yeah. So I graduated from Lumpy to joke man. And I would tell all these dirty jokes as a kid. And I think that's why my style is dirty now, because I remember as a child or a kid getting laughs from these adult material. Like, man, like this is fun. I like people laughing at the words. And then it took me another 14 years after that to attempt stand-up comedy, but I started watching a lot of it. You know, probably about age 15, I started watching like Robert Schimmel and stuff like that on, you know, the Rodney Dangerfield specials they would have on HBO where they like Tim Allen would be on it and like all these guys. If you look at the old special, my brain goes random. If you look at the old specials, like the Rodney Dangerfield presents stuff, almost every comic that was on those shows became famous.
Right.
Like there's very few that didn't make it, you know? So like, why did that change? So like now you can have a special on HBO and have 20 comics and maybe 2 dudes might wind up being something bigger. Right. But literally back in the 80s and 90s, if you were on a special like a HBO or Showtime or whatever they had, you were literally almost guaranteed to go up in your career. But that's all gone now.
I think that's because of the oversaturation into Comedy Central and, you know, all the Netflix specials. That's another reason it's hard to get people out to clubs, is because they can sit at home.
But I also think back in the day, people were more harsh. Like comics were harsher to each other as like, you're not funny. Yeah. You're not on my show. You're not funny. Versus what happens today of the pat on the back when you see them eat it. Yeah. And they're like, oh no, man, it was the audience. No, it was you. It was you 100%.
Most of the time. Yeah.
You control what you're saying. If it doesn't cue laughter, you didn't do it right. Like, now I will agree sometimes audiences are strange.
Yeah.
And there's a weird, maybe like something in the air that night. Because the show last Friday, I did a guest spot on. Every comic set went almost exactly the same. Quiet, big laugh, no laugh. Big laugh, quiet, no laugh. It was like a weird, almost like a heartbeat of a show. And the MC, both
as long as it doesn't stop,
the feature and the headliner, it was literally like, we're all like, where do you guys want to be as an audience?
Right.
So sometimes I feel like maybe one group can control the rest of the crowd. You know, I kind of think that happens.
I've seen that. I've seen that where you'd have a big party in there and they kind of, you know, if they don't like something, then
no one else does.
Because laughter is contagious.
Yeah.
So yeah, get a bunch of laughs. The best thing you can do is find the biggest group in there and figure out what makes them laugh.
Yep.
Way down
me stop that right there. We are back on the air, on the show, the Life Radio show. I still don't know where we are. We've been in here for 40 minutes, and I have no clue where we are.
We're somewhere in Ohio.
We're somewhere in Ohio. We are at WWSU 106.9 FM studio in Wright State. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with with Lumpy.
Thanks. You know what, man?
We're bringing it back.
You know what? I'm going to regret saying that.
Travis Charles is my guest in the studio with me. I apologize, couldn't help myself. We've been touching on just about every subject, from bad nicknames to Valentine's Day to World War II reenactment and Civil War LARPing.
LARPing. Yes.
We've been hitting it all today. But you had some wonderful messages off the air from your ex.
Oh, boy. Yeah, and she's been trying to call me, so let's so my ex is really funny. She sends me thanks for Valentine's Day. And here's the first thing she sent me from an ex on Valentine's Day. Roses are red, violets are blue. Thank God I'm no longer married to you.
That's love. That's a nice thought. Yeah.
And then she sent me Jimmy Fallon dressed as the woman, the ooh girl. It goes, roses are red, violets are ill. And then I'm going to celebrate Valentine's Day Han style, solo.
It's all thoughtful.
And then I'm not even a sniper, but I want to take you out. That's a good one.
I'm not even a sniper, but I want to take you out.
Yeah. So like
that could be seen as a threat too.
Yeah. Well, do you have a date for Valentine's Day? Yes, February 14th.
Well, that's today.
And then the last one was roses are red, violets are blue. Vodka is cheaper than dinner for two.
That it is.
She's a poet. Didn't even know it.
That's fantastic.
These are all memes she found. She probably Googled
well, yeah, I'm sure,
bad Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So, well, I used to be.
Hey, do you have any Valentine's Day tips for any young, because we're the old guys here. This is we're in a college. Everybody's younger. Do we have any tips to share with these younger
I would spend
gentlemen?
more money on dinner than I would flowers.
Yes. Well, here's the thing with flowers. Flowers only count if she has a job and you send them there.
Yeah.
If you buy her flowers and hand them to them, nobody sees, they don't count.
Her friends have to see them.
You just wasted your money. And it's not even her friends, because her friends, if they see them, they go, oh, but it's the ones that they don't like in the office that see them and get jealous.
Yeah.
Those are who those flowers are for.
Yeah.
That's
you have to literally, like, so if you're going to give your girl flowers just as a gesture, like before dinner, like give them to her in private, a small bouquet is just as nice as the $200 bouquet, because they're going to die and they're going to get thrown in the trash.
Right. And you wasted your money.
If you want to send her to work,
didn't really get full credit.
If you want to send her to her work or her class or whatever you guys want to, the bigger the better.
Oh, yeah.
Because then she's going to be like...
That's the only way to get full credit for even buying them.
Yeah.
Is to send them to, wherever the most people in her life are going to see them.
Yeah. Well,
because I got them on the way to where my wife works right now. Hopefully sometime today.
Yeah.
It's when they're supposed to be there.
She gets off early. They show up when she's left. Yeah. It's like, you didn't send me nothing. Some lady Carol in accounting takes them. These are hers.
Yeah. So I apologize to all the husbands of her coworkers who didn't send flowers to their wives at work. I just made you look bad.
Yeah.
Again,
did you do 1-800-Flowers, or did you do like a flower shop around here?
This time I did 1-800-Flowers just to try them out. Last time for her birthday, I sent her a big bouquet there. She had no idea it was coming until it got there. And
I think it'd be funny to send one of the funeral wreaths to an ex. But like,
that would be great.
All black roses. Yep. With a big old thumbs up emoji in the middle of it. Like, I'm glad you're gone.
Yep, you're out.
Yep.
I haven't thought about doing that. Actually, I get along with my ex-wife. We don't talk, so that's
I get along with mine too.
Way.
We have kids, and like
you have to. See, I didn't have kids with.
We didn't have like a fight type breakup separation. It was just more.
You just didn't come home one day. Is
cigarettes.
That's why she's sending you messages.
Yeah.
She's like, "Where are you?
You've been gone for a year." Like, I'm just right down the street doing Don's radio. No.
Always have some excuse. I got a show tonight. I can't.
What was I getting ready to say? Stupid. No, like, I don't know. Like, what if, okay, this is what I'm waiting for now. What if the culture that's offended by everything nowadays starts saying that you shouldn't send flowers because it makes everyone else in the office feel bad?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's going to make them feel like they're not as important. And
well, they're not. No.
So anymore, if you send your wife flowers to where she works, you have to buy flowers for everybody.
It's like
in the
elementary
office.
school now.
Yeah, it's a participation flowers. You
Yes.
get a participation bouquet.
Thanks for trying. Better luck next year. No, because like in schools now, if you want to bring Valentine's cards or candy
You have to bring
for
it
one
everybody.
person,
Yeah.
you have to buy the entire class. Like, that's confusing.
No,
You
not
know?
really, because that's teaching kids at a young age that love is expensive. Don't do it.
Well, that's one good. Well, no, they're not paying for it.
That's true.
That's teaching them
Their
that,
parents
hey,
are.
if you want to buy your girlfriend something, tell your parents to pay for it.
They're teaching them to play the field.
Yeah. So it's like, here's one for Larry. Hey, buddy. And here's one for and Amy. No, like, I don't know, man. Like,
Here,
like,
Larry. Wink,
yeah,
wink.
wink. Playing kickball later, huh? Like, I feel like if everything keeps, like, I get so mad because I can't articulate some of my thoughts like properly without going super weird.
Right.
Like,
hey.
I get really mad when people get offended by gestures or they get offended by what we grew up as normal behavior.
Right.
You know, like it just makes me steam that I can't literally put into words what I want to say. It's how mad it makes me. So I just sound dumb sometimes when I start explaining myself and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. Just stop doing whatever that was. Like,
Stop getting offended
this whole
by my childhood.
Yeah. PC stuff.
That's,
and like,
that's what it is. It's
and
making
like, I guess I wonder if that makes it tough. Like this is a college campus. There's probably a good portion of kids who don't care. They don't care if it's like offensive stuff. There's probably another group that's like, wah, you know, but.
And the ones that are like, wah, are always the most vocal. You know why?
Yeah.
Because the rest of them don't really care.
They don't care. They don't care enough to just let them say what they want.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff's getting.
See, I'm surprised we haven't had, students picketing outside the big window here. When
They're
I'm
too
on
busy
here.
being offended by something else to listen to the radio show.
That's true. Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, besides, it's only like broadcast within, a couple feet of the station. You get down the hallway either
You're
direction.
going to get some
you
kid
lose
one day
it.
run by the window and start smacking him going, you can't say that.
I'd invite him in.
Come
put
in
him
and
on the air.
interview.
It's
Come
like,
interview with
come on in.
us. I didn't mean to smack the thing.
Oh, that's all right. Who needs sound quality?
What's that tinging noise?
Yeah.
It's
it
John
happens.
Morris flipping his phone.
Yeah,
He
there
does
you
that
go.
on our podcast.
Does he?
The other day, he had his drink in his hand, and he was smacking it on the table. I reached over and grabbed it and threw it in the trash. He goes, what are you doing? I'm like, you can hear that
Yeah.
on the show. He goes, I'm a fidgety person. I went, play with your belly. Like, it's quiet. Like, there's no sound
Yeah,
there.
and you got plenty there.
Yeah.
It's
So,
all
like-
kinds of material.
And Joe is in there, and he's in there taking the chairs apart. Like, he's sitting there like pulling bolts. He goes like, he goes, I really want this arm to come off. And like, he rips the arm. I'm like, what? What are you doing? It's like, I think it's just his obsession with building and taking apart Legos goes into everyday life.
So the lesson is don't start a podcast with people that are ADHD.
Well, no, they're good conversationists, but like they just have these things they have to do. And Joe's like, I really want to take this microphone apart. And he's like taking like screws out and stuff. He goes, oh, that's too easy. And like then he puts it back. I'm like, what are you doing? And he starts moving the boom, and he's like, he goes, I'm the sound effects guy. It's funny.
Well, I'm glad Joe does that, not just on my radio show, because he was in here the one day just pounding on the desk, moving the mic, do it. Yeah.
John had a click pen. One of those click.
Oh.
I'm like, stop. He goes, what? Like, stop it. Like, just stop. Like you interrupt my train of thought. It's not always a good one, but you're interrupting it. Like,
Right. Well, yeah, you get on a roll on a show. You don't want a bunch of background noise.
Yeah.
And being a podcast, you'd kind of have to minimize that.
Yeah.
But
I would recommend though, if you do search our podcast, if you are easily offended, you're not going to like it. So, but you should find us. It's called In the Red Podcast.
the Red Podcast. That's on iTunes and
iTunes and SoundCloud. We also have it on. I'm gonna make sure I give you the right Twitter handle. because you can follow us on Twitter at @the_red_podcast. So follow us, because we've only got 5 followers right now.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And
follow the Red Podcast.
The red_podcast, because that's all I could get. Because in the Red Podcast was too many characters.
Really?
Yeah. Like one character too much. So the underscore took out one of them. So just the red_podcast. It works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yep.
Oh, do we want to hit some news stories?
Sure.
Before, because you said hopefully Ed John's on the way in.
Well, I'm messaging him again because he commented, but he didn't say he was coming. So
I get that. I've been posting to try that. That's one of the reasons I've kind of my booking of guests on the show has kind of been lapsed lately, because I'll put it up there and nobody sends me a message. They just comment on the thread. It's like, no, it says in the message, send me a message.
Yeah.
It doesn't say like.
Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, well, we'll hit some news stories for a little bit here. Let's see what we got. Oh, well, here's just the place I love that I got this news story from. This is out of Peterhead, Scotland.
Is that a real place?
I guess so. You don't want to toy around with tigers, which is why police in Peterhead, Scotland, sprang into action Saturday night. It started when local farmer Bruce Grubb called the Northeast Police to report the presence of a large, fearsome cat with stripes on his farm. I got the fright of my life, Grubb told the Scottish Sun. That was probably, got the fright of my life. The creature appeared to be crouched on a ramp in Grubb's barn. Officers immediately dispatched several vehicles, including an armed response team, to the farm. In addition, police contacted a nearby wildlife park to check if a tiger might have escaped. There was a 45-minute standoff before officers realized the tiger in question was a giant stuffed toy. So that's a good use of public resources right there.
Like,
you got the fright of me life.
Good thing I had on me kilt.
Yeah.
Whatever accent
you
that
don't
was.
Want, you don't want your kilt on going up against a tiger.
No, but you know what? Like, I think I could tell the difference between a real tiger and a stuffed animal.
Like, I would hope. Now that whatever there are pictures on the internet of this tiger where they had somebody actually did a.
Was it a taxidermy tiger?
No, it was
just a big stuffed animal.
A stuffed animal,
like from FAO Schwartz,
yeah.
just a big old.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are pictures. I mean, from a distance close enough as close as I'd want to get to an actual tiger. It could be a toss. It could be a toss up.
I feel like if you didn't hear
but
it
the
growl,
fact that it sat there, because it was sitting, it wasn't laying down, it was sitting up. So the fact that it sat there for that long, it's like, that's probably not real.
Then he was like, then he remembered, oh, I won that at the fair last week.
Oh yeah, that was a drunken night. That was
20 pints winner, tiger.
See, I just have to wonder if somebody went up there and put it there just to mess with him. See, because there's got to be more to this story than just, it's a 45-minute standoff for a stuffed animal.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a, I don't know.
Maybe he just did it for attention. It's
is this on the
like
Onion?
The balloon boy thing.
The balloon boy?
But anything out of Peterhead, Scotland,
yeah,
got to be.
Peterhead, Scotland.
Peterhead.
Come on down to Peterhead.
It's just south of Peckerhead.
Don't look up my skirt. You might see what town I'm from.
Yeah, that's where the town gets its name. Yes.
Welcome to Peterhead, right next up to Upskirt City.
Yep. They have shorter kilts in Peterhead.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. They're like leather kilts. Yeah. They're like little short, like mini kilts.
Yep, the old folks home is called ball sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what you can see out of the kilt.
That's not even good.
Oh,
my mini kilt fell off.
That's terrible. Anyway, we're going. Well, an experienced hunter in Maryland wound up in the hospital on Thursday after a recently shot Canadian goose fell out of the sky and landed on his head. The falling bird knocked Robert Milehammer unconscious. He had been out hunting geese with 3 friends near the Miles River in Easton, Maryland. I didn't know it was legal to hunt Canadian geese.
I mean, is there?
I know it's not here.
Do they have like a little flag hanging off their foot so you know which one's which when you're shooting at it?
Yeah. Yeah,
to me,
you
they all
gotta
look the
check their
same.
passport.
Yeah, it's like, what are you?
Well, that's the kind of goose that looks like that is a Canadian.
They're all Canadian geese.
Yeah, they're all.
So what does
Canucks.
what does an American goose look like?
I don't know.
It's got a Big Johnson T-shirt on.
Yeah. Yep, they're just different culture, you know. The only place it really gets confusing is like Minnesota because you can't tell from the goose's accent whether it's Canadian or not. Anyway, he'd been out hunting geese at the Miles River in Easton, Maryland around 5 p.m. when someone in the group shot and killed the bird. Mile Hammer was seriously injured in the incident. Officials reported he was in stable condition and recovering in a shock trauma unit. These birds weigh nearly 10 to up to 14 pounds, according to a spokeswoman for Maryland Natural Resources Police. Natural Resources Police. They actually have, see if the police were out taking care of these foreign geese, there wouldn't have been a problem.
Foreign gooses?
Yeah. Foreign gooses. That means getting struck by one falling from the sky can mean severe damage. The deceased goose also knocked out 2 of Mile Hammer's teeth.
Was he looking into the sky smiling?
Yeah. Hey! Good shot!
He was like, Fabio's my hero. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Fabio got hit in the face by a goose at King's Dominion in Virginia. No, Busch Gardens in Virginia.
I do remember
Guess
that.
that's where I'm from. That's where I'm from. I remember on local news, model Fabio hit in the face by a goose. I remember as a kid being like, that's hilarious that the only male model to ever ride this roller coaster gets smacked in the face by a goose.
Yeah. Like
he had blood all over his face when he came
yeah.
to the stop, and he was just like looking like what happened? It broke, like his face broke the goose's neck. Like,
oh.
So yeah, that's what you get for being in all those romance novels.
Yep, it was Fabio, so, you know, the goose was just in love. It was a big fan.
I feel like if a goose is free falling to you, you're going to hear flap, like the feathers going, like something coming in your direction. You go, like, what is that? Before it hits you in the face.
Yep, he was reaching in the cooler. And they said, look out! And he looked up instead.
Who shot it?
Duck! No, it ain't!
Yeah. Like, either he shot the thing or one of his
friends shot
Okay,
it.
you see, he shot there.
Yep,
oh, we
you
got
heard the gunshot. It had to
Here
have
it
been
comes.
there.
Like, just staring at it the whole time it's coming. Like, that seems like an accident.
And again, I feel like there's more to this story.
Maybe.
You know,
his friends held him there until they smashed him in the head.
Somebody didn't like him.
Or they were like, see if he can hit you in the head. See what it feels like.
Yeah, well,
like,
that's
like
what
Jackass.
it was. They already had the goose. It hit the ground. They picked it up and smacked it with it because they were reenacting a Monty Python.
They were goose hunt LARPing.
Yeah, they were what?
Goose hunt LARPing.
Goose. Yep, I'm going to use this like a foam sword. So anyway, I think we're going to have to take a little break. Just because it's about the top of the hour and the FCC always, you know, flashes on my screen and says you need to take a break.
Really?
They put some new program in here, which I actually kind of like because that way I have an excuse to take a break because it tells me to. So we're going to take a little break. I think if I hit all the right buttons, we're going to take a little break and we will be back here shortly.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman. You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
This is high blood pressure. Get back on your plan. Go to loweryourhbp.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and...
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14... We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak.
Can we walk home?
How about a taxi?
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me. Visit the secret panda village? Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda. I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly golf.
Awesome! Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in the back of your closet. What happened to us? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Okay, maybe I never really fit you right, but I got a lot more Sunday fun days left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hey, everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I'm your host, Natalie, with Flying In with Nat, and you're listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton, Dayton's right choice. Or you can catch us online at WWSU1069.org.
The weekend is over. Monday is here, but that doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Every week, Ellison Smith brings you a new episode of Saltwater Gaming, breaking down video games of all different genres, consoles, platforms, and eras. Get it all every Monday on Saltwater Gaming, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
All right, we are back on the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. That's the first time I've gotten that right since I've started this show today. So I'm still sitting in here with Travis Charles. You thought I was going to say it, didn't you? We've been what were we discussing? Oh, the lottery.
Oh,
Cash explosion.
Cash explosion.
Yeah.
I
wish you luck on that. I really hope you get on.
I'm excited. I mean, here's the thing: getting the scratch ticket and then getting the entry card, I guess, is one step. So I got that. I registered my ticket yesterday, and then I have to watch the live show on the 24th to see if they draw my name. But they pick 10 people per episode, so I've got a good shot.
Yeah,
like I'm going by like the track history of my life and how like things happen for me. It's like I'm pretty confident I should get on the show, like because that's just kind of like how my stuff goes.
Well, it must be nice.
Yeah, and unless it's marriages, then they don't go.
Well, yeah, but I don't think those ever work out for anybody. But except me.
So yeah, I'm excited because I've always had this like in the back of my mind, like you're supposed to win a bunch of money one day. You're supposed to like hit the lottery.
I've had that too, and I ain't won damn thing.
And I've I had the dreams about doing stand up before I did stand up. Like I'm supposed to do stand up, and now I do it. So I feel like hopefully this show is like a first, like a little like taste of, winning some money or something.
Yeah.
Because literally there's an unlimited amount of money you can win. Because if you can go on week after week, because you can win $50,000 if you go to the final round and win the $50,000 plus whatever you already won that day. So
plus
you can
go back on the next.
Then you go back the next week, and someone has to challenge, like not challenge, but they have to just be luckier than you. And if your name gets drawn again that week, you win another $50,000. Then you go next week. So basically, if you just are super lucky, you can win $50,000 a week until the show ends. If you're just that lucky.
There you go. Maybe that's going to be your new career.
Dude, like what do you, I go buy a house. How much do you make? $50,000 a week.
Yeah.
Can you prove that? Yeah, sure can. Like,
just watch the show. Hey, there's Ed. Let me get the door. Let me talk amongst yourself.
It's just me here. We've got the unamazingly Ed John coming into the studio. He came in here to. Hopefully, he didn't hear me talking all the crap about him earlier. Oh, we're on the air, so don't say anything too bad.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let me turn your mic on for you, so you can join right in. Ed John, welcome to the show.
Are you going to be listening to your headphones the whole time you're talking?
Yeah.
Or is that your Kanye move?
Yeah, he's just other than he needs some dark glasses where he can just sit there and just like throw one word out every now and then while we're having a conversation.
I'm going to count how many you do on this radio show.
Put
the mic to your mouth.
How are you doing?
No, you got to put close.
Yeah, you got to be right there.
You're used to
things like that in your face. It's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Treat it like a date. Treat that microphone like a date.
So what made you want to come in here today?
I saw Travis Charles' name, and I was like, I'm going.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because, we were talking about you guys and your rivalry earlier.
I wouldn't call it would you call it a rivalry?
Well, I mean, it's hard when
you're going to have to get much closer to that.
I'll call it a mutual.
Yeah. Travis, teach him how to use
You can see with microphones, the closer to your mouth you get.
I'm just
So you can sit back, but bring the boom to your mouth.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Go, baby.
So you've never been on a radio station.
Oh, I actually have.
Yeah, he's been in here a couple times.
Gotcha.
Well, so no.
I've been in here.
He's been
I
here a
haven't been
couple
on a radio
times. So,
station.
yeah. All
No.
right, Ed, thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
Well, no, it's hard to call it a rivalry when I'm a comic and you just talk on a microphone.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Travis.
Yeah, he's been working on that. He's been hoping you would show up just so he could do that.
That was horrible.
I saw him over there writing. Like
I've been in here
20
like
minutes ago.
No, because I told him, I said, every show I do or podcast, for some reason your stupid name comes up, and like, so like we've talked about you on our podcast.
Yeah.
Already, yeah.
I gotta check out y'all's podcast.
Yeah, you should.
You're getting all kinds of name drops for it.
Yeah.
I gotta check out the podcast.
It's all negative.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Great.
Oh.
Did you talk about your set on Sunday?
We did a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
That was
We've been mainly covering Civil War reenactments or LARPing.
Civil War LARPing,
and we're going to start reenacting World War II.
Yeah.
When is this? Right now?
No,
not right now. You're okay.
Yeah. That Civil War thing. It's February. I'm not doing it.
Well, no, never mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm trying to make sure I get my stuff straight in my head. No, we were just talking about me possibly being on that lottery TV show to win money.
Yeah, did you see the Cash Explosion?
The TV show.
Is that still what it's called?
It's called Cash Explosion.
Okay.
Are you doing that?
So I got the scratch ticket. I won the entry.
Okay.
So now I've got to get picked to be on the show.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty confident. Hopefully it happens.
Yeah.
Because they pick 10 people per show. It looks like, and
they've been
everybody
following
walks
his
away
career.
with a minimum of like $6,000.
Oh, dope.
So if I get on the show,
Yep.
I get at least I'm going to make at least $6,000, but I can make pretty much unlimited money.
Because they have comedy classes in New York for like $2,000. So you can take those classes like.
There you go. You can
Well,
stop
see, if
hitting
you
him
know
up.
that
You can
means you're
stop hitting
searching
him up,
comedy
man.
classes. Like you're looking up ways to be funny. Like I don't need that. I just use the audience and I judge their laughter.
You were good Sunday though.
I'm always good.
You were good Sunday. I will hand you those props. You were good Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
You were not.
Everybody did pretty well Sunday.
I was hilarious Sunday.
I wouldn't put the word hilarious. That's a very distinctive word.
I was hilarious.
No, never say hilarious. Do you know what the definition of hilarious is?
I was hilarious.
You're laughing to the point of insanity.
I was hilarious.
Oh my God.
That happened.
And delusional.
You were very good. You were very good, Travis.
It's okay. He's whispering, so the mic's not picking any of that
Yeah.
up. So it's none of it's on record.
It's like, oh boy.
So $6,000. You win it. You can win. Walk away.
That's
with
the
$6,000.
minimum.
Okay.
But if you win that show, you win 50,000 up to 50,000 plus.
Oh.
So like, there's a chance that I could like quit my job.
Yeah.
In the next month and a half if things go favorably in my direction.
Good luck. Good luck, man.
Yeah, that's going to be his new job as game show contestant.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I've tried out for America's Got Talent. I've auditioned for them. I've auditioned for The Weakest Link. I've auditioned for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like, I've done a lot of this
We
stuff.
got a call. Let's see if the phones are working.
They have phones in the Middle East?
Yeah, they have phones out there in the Middle East. WWSU, you're on the air.
And this is somebody calling from one of those phones in the Middle East. What's going on?
What's happening? Dan Dean, thanks for calling in from parts unknown.
Well, it's not really unknown.
It's not unknown.
I'm in Kuwait right now.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Well, now we know. You're giving away positions.
Yeah, it's not
Geraldo
super top
did that and
secret
got
at this
fired.
point. I was trying to keep it secret for a while when I first got here, and then I started looking at my unit's website on Facebook, and our public affairs office was putting out our location, so I figured, all right, it must be cool if I can do it.
Is he in Kuwait right now? He's literally in Kuwait?
That's right now.
Kuwait.
Where at?
Yeah, I guarantee you right now, I am going to be the best guest that's ever been on this show from Kuwait.
That is probably true. It's gonna be hard to find a better one.
Where's Awais from?
I'm not going to lie.
Where's Awais from?
Yeah, but he wasn't.
I'm not sure.
Well, he's somewhere in the Middle East, but nobody really. I mean, he's American. The guy's in America.
Yeah, where you're from doesn't count. Where you are now.
You getting a lot of sand in your skirt out there, Dan?
Well, it just falls right out pretty easy.
Yeah, we were having a discussion about Peterhead, Scotland earlier.
Yeah, Peterhead, Scotland. You know what? I bet you Dan knows where that's at.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Who's in the studio right now? I think Travis is in there, right?
Travis, Charles, and Ed John are in here with me.
What's up?
I gotcha.
Have
I
you
don't know
met
Ed personally, but I've seen him on Facebook quite a bit.
That's enough.
That's where you can find me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
The world's finding me there.
Yeah, what are your handles, Ed?
I've got tons of handles.
Oh, okay.
Walking through the
hashtag hilarious.
Hashtag
love
kneecaps.
handles, though.
Hashtag kneecap.
Love handles. I think everybody in the studio has those.
Dan,
right now,
you'll have more fun walking through the desert avoiding IEDs than you will watching Ed do comedy.
One of those, huh? So he's obviously
one of those? Hold the hell on. One of those? I know what those are.
Yes.
So what's going on over there, Dan? You getting a lot of shows?
Well, there's not a lot going on this way as far as comedy. The only comedy that happens around here are the shows that I put on myself. I do a bi-weekly open mic over here, and to be honest, hell, it goes just as well as any of the shows we do back there usually.
So is there a lot of bombing in Kuwait then?
Yeah, you want to be careful saying somebody bombed in Kuwait.
I knew one way or the other when I came here I was going to bomb, and so that's how I'm making sure that happened.
Well, yeah, that's the safe way. That's the safe way to bomb is on stage.
I just imagine right now Dan is on one of those little like field phones that you got to like keep cranking it to make it work.
Yeah.
Like
he's paid somebody
a little
to crank
satellite
it for
phone.
him.
If you can see me right now, I'm sitting behind this like solid wood desk. There are 3 computer screens in front of me. I'm sitting here with my feet propped up on my desk, no shoes on. It's not even my desk. It's actually my boss's desk. But
war is
okay.
hell, Dan. War is hell.
When do you come back?
I'll be back mid-March.
Okay.
We're it's not exact right now, so we don't know for sure. There are some things that could push us to the right or the left either way. So sometime mid-March, I'm hoping to be sitting at home in my own kilt drinking green beer.
Gotcha.
On St. Patty's Day. Yeah.
There you go. That
cool
would be
deal.
good. To be back in your kilt, I guess. Do they let you wear your kilt over there at all?
I have one of them here with me. The only time I ever wear it's when I'm doing one of the open mics.
Oh, okay. So you still wear your kilt on stage.
He wears like a military kilt.
I do when I'm at home. Well, here I don't wear that particular camouflage kilt or one of those camouflage kilts.
Yep, Ed just said one of those. So
one of those.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where everybody is in uniform all the time. They're so used to camouflage. You don't wear that uniform when you're not in that uniform. You know, you don't wear that and show off that you're in the Army to other people who are in the Army. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was in the Air Force. I get it.
That's why he's always wearing his flight jacket.
Yep.
Yep,
just showing it off.
Well, see, Dan wears a kilt so he can walk around and hide Wendy from people. Like
when I'm home, right?
Yeah, when he's home.
Yeah, they
Wendy Ferguson.
I tried to do that on the way over here, but they caught us going through customs.
Yeah.
Sent her back home.
So you kind of got to be careful wearing your kilt when it's windy.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Peterhead.
Absolutely. and it gets pretty windy here, and you get some crazy looks going around.
Yeah, I would imagine when your kilt blows up.
This is my rifle. This is my. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Yep, this is my drab.
That is not your gun, sir. That is not your gun.
So how are the open mics are going good out there? Are you working on some? Are you going to come back with some good material this time?
Well, I don't know if it's good or not. I have some new material.
Oh, okay.
I guarantee that for sure. But yeah, I've come up with some good stuff while we're out here. I think I enjoy it, and I'm having a good time trying to put some of my new stuff and old stuff together. But the open mics are great out here. I've gotten 2 guys that are out here in my unit who have kind of picked up comedy. They came to a couple of the shows, and they kind of liked what they saw, said they wanted to try it. So they come out every time now to the open mics, and I think they're going to keep doing it when they get back home. And there's a 3rd guy who tried it a couple of times, and he hadn't really been back since, but he insists he's going to come out one more time here before we leave and maybe he'll get on stage a couple of times when we get home too. So it's been going very well, and we make it a multi-purpose open mic, kind of a variety show, just because there aren't a whole lot of stand-up comedians around here. So we let guys come out and do music, poetry, whatever. And typically we just end up with a whole bunch of comedy on the show, but that's how it goes. It always goes real well. I'll have 30, 40 people there. I've had up to like 65 one time, and they're always fun shows.
I think it's funny, even in Kuwait, Dan had people watch him and go, man, I could do that.
Right.
Now, is it a bringer show? Because, if I'm ever over that way, I might.
I got 12 people ready to go.
Yeah, if you're here, just let me know, and we'll try to get you on the lineup. Maybe you can get a guest spot or something for.
Cool.
I need at least 15 minutes. That's a long flight. I need at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, you need at least 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, you
material.
do need 15 minutes.
I need at least 15 minutes.
Yeah. If Ed makes it, he's gonna at least have to feature.
No, the cool thing though about doing shows like that when you're deployed overseas is that there's so much pressure in the outside world going on. So when you get on the stage, people are actually funny because if you don't cry, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah.
So
is that the wind or is something blowing up?
No, somebody was using the paper shredder.
Oh, okay. I was worried for you for a second. I think we just lost.
They were shredding Dan's discharge papers.
If you think you're going home,
her kaboom and static.
Yep, they're going to keep you there just to run the open mic.
Although, if we heard a huge explosion of him screaming going off the phone, we'd be like, what?
Yep. Oh, that took a wrong turn.
Okay, bye.
No, back to the lottery.
Yeah.
Getting messages on my Facebook blowing up. You all right? What happened? All 6 people listening to the show be real nervous about me.
Yeah, that's
you said the
true.
7 people
That's
listening to it? Is that what you said?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, don't give me that much credit.
What kind of music are you playing today?
Who, me?
Yeah.
The same as always. Pottersfield.
Oh.
Deal with it, Ed.
That's the only music he's ever played the entire time he's been on the show.
No, every now and then I got some other stuff. I got some new stuff I need to start integrating in. I just haven't gone through it yet.
Any other
Pottersfield has a new album, huh?
Pottersfield 2.
Right, yeah. The second coming of Pottersfield. He's back.
Harry Pottersfield.
Harry Pottersfield. So what was I about to say? Yeah, we were talking earlier about, if you ended up blowing up, you'd come back, and Gary Henry would have to carry you and Wendy on stage.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that would be rough. Wendy is on her own, and then with me in there.
Gary's holding Dan and Dan's holding Wendy.
Yeah.
It's like a weird Russian nesting doll.
The three-headed comic. They could all do a tour together. Three-headed comedy show.
Opener, middle, and
Johnny
headliner
Knoxville's
just
character
attached.
in Men in Black with the little head growing out, the second head growing out of his shoulder.
Or was it Total Recall, the Quado?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Gary'd open his shirt and got Dan strapped on there.
No, Wendy's duct taped to his belly.
I got my 2 people. I got 2 people.
Oh, that's terrible to think about, but it's kind of funny.
Oh, my God. That's really good.
Yep, triple threat. Oh.
Yeah.
So are you excited to come back home and start getting into some comedy around here again?
I kind of am. I'm about ready to do that. I'm going to come home first thing and spend some time with my kids. We're going to do a little traveling or whatever. But then when we get into April, I think I'm going to really start hitting that comedy scene a little bit more. Get back into the swing of things, show my face around there, and try to start getting back on some shows.
There you go.
Yeah, because I Wish I Was Laughing still has some shows going on in the area, doesn't it? That you're having other people run for you, or?
Yeah, Joe Young's been running my shows for me while I've been gone, and I've cut way back since I've been gone, but there are a few venues that still want to have some comedy. They do it periodically, and they still want to do that, so Joe's been running those shows for me, probably about one a month or whatever. He's been doing a great job for me. I appreciate that.
Well, there's a good chance when you come back, Dan, that you'll still see the same people doing the same jokes, so...
Ouch.
Well, I had absolutely no doubt about that.
Hashtag kneecaps.
Hashtag kneecap.
He has no idea what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I
He still needs
guarantee
to know
you,
it's a thing.
I guarantee when he comes back, he'll think that joke's stupid just
He
like me.
still needs to know it's a thing.
He probably thinks it's stupid now, and he hasn't even heard it. So.
Hashtag kneecaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's already like, this dude Ed's an idiot. Like,
So how's the podcast going?
Man, you know what? I've kind of slacked off some on it since I've been here. You know, the first 100 episodes, I hit that religiously every single Wednesday for 100 weeks. I did that, and then I got over here and I got busy doing some things, and I don't have my co-host over here with me anymore. So it started to be a case where I'd go 2 weeks without doing one, and then I'd go 3 weeks, and then I went a month, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things now. I never completely fell off the map with it, but I had a lot of people all the time messaging me like, man, what's going on with the podcast? Where's your next podcast? And I'll be like, I'll get to it. Don't you worry about that.
I'm in a war right now.
Hello.
Just going on outside.
Yeah, it gets...
I put one out about a week ago or so. It was my last episode, and I think they're pretty good. I think I'm doing a decent job of keeping them entertaining, even if I'm here by myself, talking to myself for a half hour, but just kind of give people an update of what's going on. If you guys are interested in what happens.
Well, Dan, I want you to know that I have never listened
basis.
to an episode of your podcast.
Never?
Never.
What's that?
I've never listened to your podcast, so you're welcome.
What?
So you haven't missed it.
See, I don't know what's happening right now. It's not like I've ever promoted it before.
Yeah.
Static.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't even know anybody knew you had one.
I've always meant to listen to it when he was doing it, and I would go, I'm gonna listen to that, and then I just wouldn't do it. I'd go do something else, or so I don't have a lot of free time.
But you listen to my show.
I've never listened to this one.
That's not even this
I
one.
feel like
No, not even the one you're
You just
on.
started a podcast too, didn't you, Travis?
Yeah, me, John Morris, and Joe Robinette.
Yep, we look forward to not listening to it.
That's fine.
What's that? What do you guys talk about? What's that about?
It's basically, it's slightly stand-up based because that's what we all do, but it goes on a lot of tangents. So we'll start talking about one thing and then wind up talking about action figures, and then wind up talking about this celebrity or whatever. But this is an outlet for me to tell all my stories for the last.
Well, I'm touched that you modeled it after my show.
Yeah,
so it's basically a standard podcast.
Yeah.
You just tell
Some ashes.
a whole bunch of stories about how you know Bert Kreischer.
Yeah. I do. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
No, but it's allowing me to get some stories out that I've never told, because people do give me a lot of flack for Bert for some reason, and they act like I'm doing it for no reason. But I've known the dude for 12 years, so we've done a lot of stuff in the past 12 years. So I've been on his TV show. He called me when my kid was born. So it's more than just I've worked with him. That's why he's the one that I would go to. But there's so many more that I don't talk about. But now the podcast, I'm getting these stories out one at a time.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you.
I worked with Eddie Murphy.
You
back
guys
in the early
have
90s.
only got a couple episodes out
You
right
were
now,
Eddie
right?
Murphy?
I worked
Yeah,
with
we're
Eddie
doing the
Murphy
third episode
back in the
today.
early
We got
90s.
Ray Jackson coming in, supposed to be, if he's on time, to be
What is that?
a guest.
What is that?
Oh, yeah. If you're recording at 6, I hope you told him to be there at 4.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm
I
sorry,
think
man.
I think Ray's always been on time when he's done my show.
Yeah, we've messaged him. He read it. He didn't reply, though. So I got a feeling he's going to cancel.
He has never been on time to any show he's done for me.
Yeah. That's classic Ray.
Yeah.
So I feel lucky that he's been on time for my shows.
Yeah.
I was working with Eddie Murphy back in the early 90s.
Man,
and
be
I ran
quiet.
that kneecaps joke by him. He was like, you got something.
You know
Run
what?
with it.
Stop.
Run with it.
And then he called when your kids were born.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to have stories like that to name drop. Yeah. And it's also good for you to have stories, Ed, where people think your kneecaps joke's funny.
Yeah.
Hashtag kneecap.
Hashtag.
He got so excited
hashtag,
that Michael
hashtag.
Shea liked his joke.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Is what he said. Brilliant.
Well, everyone's level of brilliant is different.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure Einstein wouldn't think that joke was brilliant because of what he did.
Yes, he would.
Nah. He'd be
Einstein doesn't really get
knees
comedy
equal
much,
MC
so-
squared.
He might. He came up with a big bomb.
Actually, there's a pretty famous black and white photo still of Charlie Chaplin and Einstein talking. at a world premiere of one of his movies, and they had a dialogue, and Einstein was just talking about it's amazing how you can not say a word but make people laugh, and people remember it, you know. And then Charlie Chaplin was like, well, it's amazing how you can just speak on like abstract ideas and make the world listen. So it's a pretty cool photo.
And hashtag kneecaps.
Hashtag kneecaps.
Charlie Chaplin
I think
said
it's
hashtag.
amazing he's such a genius, but he couldn't comb his hair.
Who, Chaplin or Einstein?
Einstein.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, that's. I guess that was one of the things he didn't. He had too much on his mind to worry about.
Well, no,
Yeah,
there's a disease to where no matter what you do to your hair stands up, and they think he may have had it. It's usually stark white hair, and it stands straight up, and no matter what you try to do to tame it, it always stands up. So they think he may have had
kind of like
it.
Don King.
A little bit, but Don King combs his up.
Don King and his white hair.
Yeah. But no, I saw something. There's a group of kids I saw in this special where all their hair is straight up in the air, and it's just white and blonde. No matter what their parents do, like gel, mousse, hairspray.
You sure you weren't watching like anime or something?
Maybe it was Young Einstein with Yahoo Serious. No. But no, but like this, it's a thing. It's a genetic disorder where your hair literally just comes out, and no matter what length it gets, it'll just stand straight up from your head, and it'll eventually get heavy enough and then like fold over. But I remember watching it. It was like they think Einstein had that same whatever it was.
My pubic hairs do the same thing.
What'd you say?
My pubic hairs do the same thing.
They're long and white.
I didn't think my Valentine Day would be complete until I learned about your pubic hairs, Ed.
You're welcome.
I thought they'd be really tight knit and just mat it down like a Berber carpet.
I told you 18 inches. We had this discussion Sunday.
You know what?
This is
a church radio show.
The hair.
That's the hair. My hair.
Right.
Hair is 18 inches.
Yep, you got a heck of an afro down there, son.
Right now, Dan scratching his kneecap and he's hitting Peterhead, Scotland.
We did a story about
I've been Googling that.
Who is Peterhead, Scotland?
There was a town in Scotland. We did a news story, and it was based out of Peterhead, Scotland, where there was a police standoff, a 45-minute police standoff with a stuffed tiger.
Because they thought it was real.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you?
I saw that story the other day too. I didn't know that's where it was.
Yep, that was that's the main reason I put it in my list to talk about was because it was from Peterhead, Scotland. And we determined it got the name of the town because their kilts are shorter than the rest of them.
Yeah, mini kilts.
Yeah.
My high school marching band wore kilts, full kilts.
What was their mascot? The Peterhead
Fighting Scots. No, the Fighting Scots.
Oh, okay.
North Carolina.
That makes sense. If it was the Fighting Irish, it wouldn't. But
right,
Fighting Scots.
Yeah. I prefer drinking scotch. Actually,
well, we drank too.
Oh, well, there you
during
go.
band practice.
I wasn't on the band.
Oh, you were in chorus.
Writing these hot jokes.
Yeah, there you go. Are you working on material now?
Always.
You should be. One day one will come out good.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't wait for Dan to come back because Dan's going to fuck with you too.
Man,
he's going to what? Hold on a second.
Wait, that's not allowed on the radio.
I just had to hit this. I just had to silence him real quick.
FCC'd it. My bad.
Yeah.
Do you have enough listeners now that the FCC pays attention to your show? Because I know I've dropped an F-bomb before.
Well, just in case, we might. I don't know. I don't know what we have anymore. But, you know.
And when I didn't, you didn't even bother. You didn't even think about pressing that button.
I probably didn't know there was a button at the time. I learn as I go here. I do want to cover a news story real quick while I got you on the phone, Dan. Then we'll let you go if you got Army duty to do. But
yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Or you can stick around. I'm going to hit a news story, and then we might play a song and come back and end the show out. United Airlines employees at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey recently told a passenger that her emotional support peacock wouldn't be able to accompany on her flight. May sound bizarre to bring a peacock on a plane, but give the woman credit for persistence. She reportedly tried several times to get the bird on board, even offered to buy a separate plane ticket for it, but airline employees nixed every request, according to the travel blog Live and Let Fly. The passenger's identity was not released. Quote from the United statement, the animal did not meet guidelines for a number of reasons, including its weight and size. We explained this to the customers to the customers on 3 separate occasions before they arrived at the airport. United told Business Insider that passengers need to provide documentation from a medical professional at least 48 hours advance notice before bringing an emotional support animal on a flight. I've never heard of an emotional support peacock.
Why? I think I've talked about this.
This story's all well and good, but I'm going to go ahead and put an end to this peacock shenanigans right now, because let me tell you about what happened shortly after that at Spirit Airlines. A woman brought her emotional support hamster onto Spirit Airlines, right? And when she got there, they told her it would be okay. And as she was going through customs, they said, no, it would not be okay. You cannot bring that. You have 2 choices. You can take your hamster outside and let it go, or you can flush the hamster down the toilet, which she chose to do. So she stood there in the bathroom in line for customs, crying, and flushed her hamster down the toilet.
That is the opposite of emotional support.
Yes.
Yes, it is absolutely opposite. This happened at the Baltimore-Washington International Airport. Her hamster was named Pebbles.
Well,
that's an emotional trauma hamster, right?
Yeah, emotional trauma hamster. Like, why wouldn't you just go outside and let it go?
That's what at least it has a chance if you let it go outside. You flush it down the toilet, that hamster's dead.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know. That's like, who was the guy who gave her the 2 options? Like, you can either murder your pet or set it free.
Well, so the airline, the Spirit Airlines denies that anyone told her she should flush the hamster, but it's been all over the news every time I open up my news feed here.
There's going to be some story 10 years from now where this giant sewer hamster comes out and attacks people.
You Google hamsters a lot.
He gets raised by rats. And then it becomes a made-for-TV movie on Lifetime.
Yeah, I guess it is a lot harder to flush a peacock down a toilet.
Yeah.
This could be the newest coming of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Well, these are the hamsters that drive the...
Splinter.
No, the hamsters that drive the... what are they?
That
the
could be where it came from.
Remember the hamster commercial? They're all in they're all in jumpsuits, and they drive the cars.
Yeah, before long they'll be driving Kias.
Yeah, Kia hamsters.
Kia Soul.
It all started in the Boston airport,
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's the same difference. It's the same place, just different place.
That's funny. Not funny, but funny.
No, it's not funny. It's a poor hamster.
Maybe he survived. Maybe he caught a ride.
I don't think so.
It depends on how fast he gets into the larger pipe.
Yeah, because there's a little,
It's like a water slide.
I guess I haven't really been.
It's like a slide.
I haven't really spent a lot of time
at Kings Island.
Lines.
He just went down a tube, woo, and splashed at the bottom, and now he's hanging out. Like, he's just living in the sewers now.
If he hit that sewer, though, he's got AIDS now.
Yeah.
Why? Hold on. Why?
I don't think hamsters can get them.
I don't think you get AIDS from sewers.
I think you can with the needles that are flushed down our sewer. I think you can.
You flush a lot of needles?
I mean, it happens.
Like, what?
That's where people.
What do you think happens in sewers?
That's how people dump needles. They get rid
what
of
do you think happens in sewers? Because I really don't know what. Huh?
There's enough water pressure that goes through there at one certain point that flushes whatever's in the main pipes out. That's why it goes to the spill wells and clogs up their systems, and they have to shut down to clean them out. Like, there's not like a plethora of AIDS needles in the bottom of a sewer just chilling out waiting for you to go swimming.
Prove it.
Go down there with a... No.
See, I'm just concerned about the emotional trauma of this hamster going through this tube, just hoping it's not aimed for Richard Gere.
Oh boy, that was wasn't that a gerbil?
Yeah.
Which do you think would be worse?
I don't know.
I mean, either way, it winds up in a
so it's the same
dark
same
hole.
crap no matter what.
Yeah.
So if I fly Spirit, they're gonna make me pick my emotional support white person.
You have an emotional support cracker? Is that what you...
I did not say that. I said a white person.
Now,
every black guy has to have like 5 emotional support white people.
On my first trip I'm taking when I get back, I'm going on Spirit Airlines, and I want to see him take one of those crackers and shove them in the toilet.
I didn't say cracker.
Give him a swirly.
Because Dan is 1% black.
Yeah.
2%.
2% black.
2%. Yeah.
For the
like
record.
milk. 2%.
Right.
That'd be crazy.
So
I'm basically skim black.
Skin black.
Be identified.
Hashtag skin black.
Yeah.
Dan is a LARPing black guy.
Yeah.
Hashtag skin black. That's good.
Yeah, we had a lot of discussions of LARPing earlier. So.
LARPing. What is LARPing?
Never heard of LARPing?
I'm the master of it. I've been doing it my whole life.
Yep, there you go. LARPing is live action role playing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is that a real thing?
Yes.
That's a real thing. We were talking about Mike Shea 2 weekends and 2 weeks in the month. Mike Shea pretends to be a pirate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the guy in Dodgeball?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's who thought your joke was brilliant. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Some filthy.
First of all, it is brilliant.
Some filthy pirate.
I'm kidding, Mike. Mike Shea runs Eventide Entertainment, which broadcasts this podcast. He's going to listen to every bit of this anyway.
What up, Mike?
He's forced to listen to it.
Yeah. We have one listener.
Is that real? How many shows do they have on there?
On Eventide, I think right now he's got 7 shows on there. He's got 1 show a week he puts out.
Oh, I was going to say he has to listen to all of them, but if it's just 1 a week, that's not too bad.
Well, it's 1 per day
of
the week.
I get what you're saying. 7 weekly shows.
Right. Well, he did. I think it might be 6 now. I think somebody slacked off and he fired him.
Dropped off.
Yeah, it happens. Podcast coming.
Yeah.
What time is it there, Dan?
It's 9:40 p.m. right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm 8 hours ahead of you guys.
It's almost your bedtime then.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's actually probably well past my bedtime, but that's all right. Like I said, our replacements are here. They're getting ready to take over in the next couple of days. I don't really have a lot coming up.
Gotcha.
On my schedule.
Yeah, you're just on autopilot now. Yeah, you
Pretty
got
much.
the replacements trained.
Teaching my last class this week. I've got 2 more days, and after that, I'm pretty much done.
Good deal.
There you go. All right. Well, we do have a couple more news stories. I'm not going to play a song, but we're going to probably end a little early, just because.
Nobody likes music anyway. It's terrible.
No. It's music. Barney the dinosaur famously sings "I Love You, You Love Me" in the theme song of the PBS children's show Barney and Friends. But the actor who played the purple character from the early 90s and the early 2000s isn't loving the way he portrayed in his article about his latest occupation. He is apparently a tantric massage therapist. David Joyner charges female clients $350 for 3 to 4 hours of ritual bath, chakra balancing, and massage that can lead to, quote, mind-blowing orgasms. Apparently, the article was an anticlimax for Joyner. He complained on Facebook, quote, I truly wish more people would try to see the spiritual side of Tantra and not think it's all about sex. Some people here in the West can be so sad.
Does he have a new, song? I rub you, you rub me.
Is that the same guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Barney.
Now, please tell me he wears that Barney outfit while he's doing
It's
that.
got to. That's got to be the big part of it. That's,
We're gonna
I don't know.
If he doesn't, his whole story is useless.
No, bend over,
Look what
sir.
I can do with this tail.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Where would you like this tail?
Oh, boy. Where's my lotion?
I'm not sure that's a Barney voice.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know. It's the Barney.
Hanna-Barbera
It's the
cat.
Barney in my brain.
The Barney in your brain.
Because we all have one.
We all have our own personal Barney.
He got in trouble for sexually harassing women too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Barney?
I didn't know he
go
did
out.
too.
He would go out and tell people, "I'm Barney, the purple dinosaur," and pick up women,
Why
and
wouldn't
think he was supposed to be like Jude Law or something because he played Barney.
Wow.
Well, they ran out of people to sexually harass that were actual movie stars, so then they had to move into
Right.
these
Yeah.
role
Everybody
players,
else has already.
characters and whatnot.
Yep. Everybody else has already had it.
I
Before
thought my
long.
Barney was pretty good. You guys remember what Barney sounds like?
I never really watched a lot of Barney.
Neither did I, but I saw enough of it in people's houses fixing their cable that it's all their kids would watch. So
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
See, I was always more of a Mr. Rogers fan.
They're remaking that.
Captain
Are they?
Kangaroo.
Yeah.
Captain
Tom Hanks,
Kangaroo
right?
was all right.
Yeah, they're doing a Mr. Rogers movie. I think Tom
They're
Hanks.
doing a Mr. Rogers movie with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. It's just not going to be the same.
I think Tom Hanks will do a good job. Unless all of a sudden Tom Hanks, they come out and he's been harassing people, which will pretty much ruin.
Which he has.
No, I think it would ruin so many people.
Did Tom Hanks touch you?
Not me.
Oh, okay.
Not me.
Eddie Murphy did touch his kneecaps.
That's true. That's hashtag kneecaps.
Thank you. Hashtag kneecaps. Travis hates.
I'm not hating.
Everything about that kneecaps joke.
Yep. Yes, that is not.
Who pays $350 for a massage?
Apparently some people want a Barney massage.
And if you pay $350 for a massage,
white people $350 for a massage.
I don't care if you pay that much for a massage. You have to assume someone's going to touch you inappropriately because that is expensive.
Well, that's it. It can lead
that's
to
why they're
mind-blowing.
paying that.
Yeah.
They do assume that. He's the only one who doesn't assume that.
Yeah. He's upset that they're assuming.
Oh, he's upset that they want him.
Yeah,
I thought he did it to people, and they were upset that Barney was touching them. Gotcha. Never mind.
No, you got to sign some kind of consent paperwork.
I would imagine. I would imagine there'd have to be something.
Hey, yo, Barney, you're not done yet.
Get back here, man. Come on, Barney. Said mind blowing. Ain't blown yet.
Nice.
Put on the suit, Barney. That is terrible.
Yeah.
We're off the air now. We're going to... I'm getting fired.
What if Barney was wearing a gimp suit of Pulp Fiction?
Dude. Or the Machine from 8mm.
Yeah.
Just a big old zipper mask and a leather overall thing.
A bunch of leather and spikes and whips.
Oh, wow. That's...
What's
I'm
your
getting a
safe
visual
word?
What's your safe word?
Yay! I have no idea.
Oh, wow.
Next,
that's the bad thing is, there are probably a lot of students in here that watched Barney when they were kids, and now we are totally destroying them.
Oh, boy.
There's probably 6 of them that are triggered, and they're in a corner right now. What's that?
Nothing.
What'd you say, Ed?
Nothing.
Okay. Ed's afraid to talk into the microphone.
Yeah. He's not used to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. All right. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up. Dan, hurry back.
Leave
well,
now.
It's not
Leave
like
now.
I can do anything about that. I'll get back when
just head on
it's my
out
time
now.
to get back.
You said your
You're done.
replacements
Wrap it
are
up.
already
You're
trained.
done.
Yeah, you're done. Now, thanks for calling in. It's good to hear from you. Get your podcast going again.
Yeah, it's never stopped. I'll get it picked back up on a weekly basis, maybe a little more than that, but yeah, we'll get that going.
All right. Where can we find you? You might as well throw out some social media stuff while you're here.
I mean, of course, I'm on Facebook. I don't do a whole bunch of Twitter while I'm over here. I'll get back on that when I get back to the States, though, at DDWolf3. And then I'm on Instagram. I wish I was laughing. And, of course, you can find me on the podcast, I Wish I Was Laughing Radio, on PodBean.com, iTunes, or Stitcher.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in again. Go get some sleep. So you, can get your day, you can get your day right tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll get ready, get back on that schedule.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. We will catch you later. We'll see you when you get home.
Stay safe.
See you later, buddy.
Yep,
All
stay
right,
safe.
guys, see you in a month or so.
All right.
Yep. Bye.
Right now, he's going to go streaking through the desert.
Yeah. Yep. In his Peterhead kilt. Yep. Why does this thing that this thing?
You almost went into an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. The Red Podcast.
In the Red.
The Red Podcast.
iTunes,
Twitter,
SoundCloud.
Red _podcast.
Twitter is the Red _ podcast. Yeah. Follow us, share it.
Yeah, follow
the Facebook page.
Because the only people following him right now are people on the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. And like 2 other people. I don't know who they are.
I'm following.
You're following?
You? On Twitter?
No.
Follow us on Twitter.
No, he means when you leave here, he's following you out in the parking lot.
I'll see you in the parking lot.
The Red.
Yep. Hashtag kneecaps.
Yeah. What was that? Nancy Kerrigan?
All right. shout outs to whatever else you have? Any shows you have coming up?
I don't know. I guess we can give a shout out to John Morris's Fat Ankles. And
Fat Ankles?
Yep. Aaron Phillips' diabetes.
Yep. And this is a shout out coming from Lumpy. So.
And Lumpy. No. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, not iTunes, YouTube. All of it's at Travis Charles or Travis Charles. Just if you type in my name, you'll find me. I'm the first picture that comes up on Google Images. So,
all right,
just whatever you want to do.
Yep, Ed, you can always come up with his information at #kneecaps. And
I'm just here to send a shout out for Brad Carroll. BradCarrollEntertainment.com paid me to plug him today. So,
are you serious?
Awesome. No.
Who's Brad Carroll?
Plunger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's got to plug him because that's why he has a plunger to unplug it.
I'll plug it, Brad Carroll.
That's just mean, Ed. Anyway, that's
all right. Wait to just like the show there, Ed.
Yeah, it's just like. Oh man, that's
Ed is a deadliner.
Yeah, way to go. No, I'm kidding. On that note, I think we're going to call it a day.
Cool deal.
Be sure to get out to Wiley's Thursday for the Valentine's Date for a Cause. A lot of good comics going up. Headlined by Nate Washington.
Nate.
Ought to be a great show. Yeah, get your tickets online at www.wileyscomedy.com, and we will see you next week. This has been the Life Radio Show on WWSU 106.9 with your host, Don Smith. The Life is also available in podcast form on iTunes, PodBean, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blueberry, and YouTube, as well as on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Be sure to like the Life Radio Show on Facebook, and if you have any comments or suggestions, email thelife1069@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and enjoy some live comedy this week. You can check out wileyscomedy.com for all your upcoming shows.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.